Hello, everybody, and welcome to what we hope is the first of many backyard pickleball bonanza, extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. I'm your boy Zook, and as you can tell, I am super excited. Tonight is one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to do. I don't pretend to be a pickleball expert, but I am a diehard pickleball fanatic, and what we have tonight is some of the top pros, and we'll go through who they are in a moment, playing for something bigger than just glory on the court, paying for charity as well, which is what this event's all about. But this is going to be a fun one, and I am super excited to be joined by my two co-pilots of the night, Jigaman Porto and yours truly, Norway Johnny. Jigaman, Norway Johnny, how you guys doing tonight, brothers?
Dude, it's fall, y'all. It is fall, y'all. It's 64 and clear in the ATX, Austin, Texas. We're not there, but we are going to be there watching this stream. It is sick. I'm pumped.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited. I mean, the fact that, one, we got to partner with PickleDAO to bring this whole thing to life. So KOD Media, super excited about that. But I mean, come on, Zook, it's for charity. And we love doing stuff for charity. So the fact that this is going for Just Keep Living is dope. And I'm going to be honest, ever since we started doing Pickle Juice, bro, and you were like, you need to really get into pickleball, I watch too much pickleball.
And, let's go.
I'm watching way too much.
You drank the Kool-Aid.
I did, man. And I've watched so many Anna Bright highlights. I can't wait till we start recapping a little bit about Anna tonight and the players that we've got, the guests that you've got lined up for the night. I mean, I'll let you start with, tell me about some of the guests you got coming up, bro.
Yeah, just to give everyone a background, I know a lot of people that are in here tonight have watched major pickleball tournaments over the past few weeks, years, however long you've been a fan. Tonight's going to be a little different. Tonight, we make no bones about it, is a little bit based on what ESPN has built with the Manning cast. Kind of that feel where you're just watching with some friends behind the scenes, interviewing people while the games are going on. We'll make sure the focus is the game, but we're going to have some people riding this journey with us, some people in the pickleball world that we're going to get the chance to talk to. We're going to have Ben from Just Paddles. We're going to have Aaron from Pickleball Clinic. We're going to have Wes Burrows. We're going to have Cassandra Gerke and Lee Whitwell. A ton more. So many excited people that throughout the night they'll be hopping in and out. Great conversation. We'll provide a little bit more of a spice on top of us just calling the games. But we also have some major pros here tonight, Johnny. I talked about the guests. Do you want to talk about the 8 pros that we got here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, this is an all-star event. It's a battle of the North and the South, and we've got 8 players. You know them. If you watch pickleball, you are well aware. We've got Miss Anna Bright on one side for the women. We've got Vivian David, Lena Adajimade. We've got Leah Jansen. We've got Darren Young, Thomas Wilson, Brandon Insekpong, and lastly, you know this guy, Deco Bar. It's a star-studded event. And they're in the backyard. They roped it together. PickleDAO, man, they figured it out, and we've got ourselves a barn burner coming up.
Yo, speaking of backyards, you like my new backyard just for the night? Check that out, bro.
Fits with the theme.
All right, I'll be back. I got some work to do.
So I'm watching the feed right now to see when the match is going to start. They seem to be warming up, but also look somewhat competitive. So let me maybe bring this
let's
screen
get them up. And if we've got to hide our video a little bit, we can too.
I think this is just warm up.
Looks like it.
We're going to get a scoreboard that pops up with some extra stats that we've added. We've added kitchen rallies, total points, firefights. We have Ben from Real Clear Stats feeding us live stats behind the scenes. So I'll bring those up whenever we have a moment between points. But even if I can't bring them up, I have them on another tab that I'll get to, and I'll be able to look through them. Stats is something that we understand. Keep with the theme of backyard pickleball. At the end of the day, it's a game, and you can't always measure, the size of the dog in the fight, but you can't measure the size of the fight in the dog. But, we do think that is a differentiator and a different way to look at the game, where sometimes a single point here or there will stick out, so you'll think of a player as playing a certain way. But if you were to look at the deeper stats, you would say, hey, maybe that person wasn't struggling with that, or hey, maybe that person wasn't that successful with that. It was just 1 or 2 points sticking out. So we're going to dive deep into that with still keeping it as backyard as possible, right, Johnny?
Indeed. I mean, stats are new to the game of pickleball. There really isn't a lot of stats yet. Hey Shay is watching. Lee is going to join us here in a little while. She will be on later.
Yeah, her and Cassandra are actually going to call one of the mixed doubles matches with us here tonight. Yep. So that's super exciting. We've been talking to them today. Maybe some more in the works with those two ladies going forward. But for tonight, we're going to get a fun mix-up of calling the mixed doubles. So I think they're warming up.
This is not
the rundown that we got.
Yeah,
it was
this is not your grandma's warm-up. Did you see
this
going all out? Brandon
yeah.
with a stick overhead just a minute ago. I had to do a little ooh and ah on that one because he's got the reach. So if he gets an overhead on you, yeah, they're mixing it up now.
Maybe I'm embarrassed because their warm-up is harder than my games were, so I couldn't tell. But let me turn the volume up. I want to see if we can get Mike, the MC, there with Electrum on the horn, and we could hear what they're saying. All right, he faked me out. He's not going live yet. We have the women warming up. Do we want to take a deeper dive maybe into some of the women that are going to be facing off tonight? You know, as I said off on the top, we don't make any bones about being experts, but we do enjoy each and every weekend watching the matches together and having some conversations. So let's start with Miss Bright, Miss Anna Bright, a fan favorite. I know Odith is in the chat. Anna Army ready to deploy. I know Jigga in the back said he's been watching Anna all week. So, her skill with her personality seems to have captured the everyday fan. There he is nodding.
Yeah,
Johnny, give me a quick synopsis of what you think we're going to see here from Anna tonight.
Well, I'll tell you first and foremost, I'm going to give the team breakdown real quick. This will pop up on the screen shortly, but Anna Bright's going to be on the South team. So she's going to be with Lena. She's going to be with Brandon and Sekpong, and she's got Dekel Bar. So no DJ Young with Anna Bright tonight. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see a few fresh looks in terms of the mixed doubles with her, also the women's doubles. We haven't seen these partnerships with her. So it's going to be something new. She's had a pretty decent run into championship Sundays lately. So for her, she's had a few second-place finishes. We've seen some silvers for her. And I mean, she's still been just absolutely on fire this year for her to end up where she's at this stage. We're heading to the slower part of the season. 2 silver medals recently at the PPA and also at the APP events. Single silver at Hilton Head this week.
Hey, actually, I'm going to stop you guys. I think let's give a live look. I think I just saw Brooks come up. Let's give the president his time.
Singles tiebreaker.
Good call.
And then the players tag team out, and they just keep going until somebody gets 21.
Sweet.
All right.
Thank you, Brooks. Before we get going, we're gonna do a toast. If you have a staffs, please grab your staffs, hold it up. We now want to raise a glass for this 0-0 start moment to zero added sugar, to zero artificial colors, to sport and everything else. Thank you all for coming to Backyard Pickleball, sponsored by Sats. Let's have a great time, watch incredible pickleball, and raise a shit ton of money. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
We're off, people. We're off. The first Backyard Pickleball is going down.
Hey Shay is in the club, toasting with my glass of Fairlife. Let's go, Hey Shay.
Hey Shay, did you make it home yet? She's got that rush hour traffic in St. Louis.
I'm actually happy because Hey Shay sometimes books open court play on Tuesday night, but she didn't tonight, and I'm happy about that because she's able to join us here. Look, we got our friends from the normal chats. I'm happy that they're popping in, hanging out. All Elite Racing is there. He's our boy that actually is down there in Austin at the event. I didn't see him waving at us. If he does it again, we'll check it out. There's the dope scoreboard that was built by our buddies at PickleDAO. Kind of that cool feel, sponsored by Electrum. You can see their logo there. We'll have Vivian and Leah versus Anna and Lena in the first match. Johnny, I know I asked you a little bit about Anna, and we don't have too much time now before this goes down. What are you thinking about this first match in terms of how do you think it's going to play out?
So you're probably going to see a little bit of Anna on the left side, it looks like. Oh, look at that. They cut the dog in a watermelon outfit. If that's not backyard, I don't know what is. I actually think that dog's name is Volley. And for those of you that's Mike's dog, and he featured in the PickleDAO hype videos here on Instagram before we started. Look at him, just one hand. That's impressive. I do that with my kids. I have an 11-month-old, and he's probably about the same size as that dog. He's a big boy, and I sometimes do that too, so that's good. Oh, yeah. So anyway, back to Anna and Lena. We'll see where she starts. If she doesn't start on the left, I'd be a little surprised. It might depend on how their opponents in this first match are going to line up. Viv David looks like she's going to be on the right. Looks like you got Leah Jensen on the left. So we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a fun night. So we're gonna see different looks. We're gonna see them go all out. It is for charity. So let's see if we got some sound going. Looks like there's a little paddle flip.
Yeah, let's see. And chat, we'll be playing with the sound feed from YouTube as well as talking. This is our first time doing it. We're hoping to do it a bunch more. If the sound isn't jiving from what you guys hear, just let us know in the chat. We'll raise the court volume. We'll lower the court volume. Say Zook, shut up, and let Johnny and Jigga talk. Whatever you guys want us to do, just let us know in the chat.
Look, right now, everybody just wants the dog back. Let's be real. Everybody's bring the dog
Dogs
back
and babies, right? Dogs and babies are showstoppers. Doesn't matter where you are. Not exactly sure what they're looking for the dog to do. It's playing some Puxatawny Phil type player that's actually I guess if it sees its shadow, if it sees its shadow, Vivian and Leah serve. If it doesn't see its shadow, Anna and Lena serve. They're showing us some of the stats down low. You can see Leah from Franklin, 5.96 duper. That's fantastic. Only about 2 or 3 points higher than the three of us combined, potentially.
I attribute not much, all right? Like a percent of a point for you there.
Yo, there's a lot of Anna fans here in the chat. Mark is here. Anna. We did it. Just a lot of Anna fans.
The Anna Army is a real thing. And to think, I mean, she's really only been on the scene here for 2022.
Let's go.
Also living in Dripping Springs, Texas, Vivian David. Living in Austin, Texas, Leah Jensen.
Leia's fiery, man.
All right, guys, are we ready for the first match of the night? Let's go.
Let's go. We go by animals.
We'll ask before it starts. Zook, who you got your money on? Which side you going?
Well, gambling on pickleball is illegal, so we'll call it doll hairs for now.
Okay, doll hairs.
I'm gonna go with Viv. I'm gonna go with Viv and Leia. Leia has been showing me some fire before this match. That seems that this isn't just a fun charity event for her or for any of these players. I'm really interested to see how the eight of them handle this.
We're off.
We'll let them get started. Ooh.
Fight.
Already sick out of the gates.
Anna talking to her partner.
She always does.
What a first point. Long. Anna calls it long. What a way to start off backyard pickleball. Firefight, rally, scoring. That's one for Anna and Lena with a great leave by Anna. Lena serves. They're having trouble putting them away right now. Great defense. She calls it long. That's another one for Lena and Anna again. 2 errors
and
from the David Jansen clan.
So Viv has had such incredible defense. You can see she's getting really low, getting that scorpion technique. I am on YouTube, checking on the chat there, so you guys see me popping up. But man, Viv David has had such a string. She's won 2 back-to-back golds in mixed doubles with Thomas Wilson playing in a minute. Ooh, and she finds the seam.
Wow. And you were telling me, we were talking
Smiling
behind the scenes, the
assassin.
name you kept bringing up was watch out for Vivian. Watch out for Vivian. She's really finding her groove right now. And we see her right there, like parting the sea right down the middle. A shot that many of us try, but often gets hit right back at us, right?
Some more than others. Zook. Some more than others.
Johnny's telling me to speak for myself. Anna not able to return it there. Vivian and Leia, after getting down early, again with rally scoring, can quickly make it back. And as I say that, maybe she heard me. Maybe I was talking in her backswing.
And again, weather should go down just a little bit here over the next hour. We're at 63 degrees in Austin, so not too cold. Shouldn't affect the ball flight too much.
I think the score is 4-3.
I
think the score is 4-3. Vivian and Leia. Yep, 4-3.
Hold it.
That'll update. And it does. This is a fantastic match.
You wouldn't expect anything less, Zook.
No?
Oh.
Okay, we've seen that a few times from Anna, Johnny. And are you seeing anything? Because we've gotten a nice shot down the line when she's doing that. Is she lunging a little bit? Is there anything specifically you see from her there?
I don't think there's much except at this point, except they are going after her. So you see right even there on the third shot, Viv going towards Anna. They're feeding the ball, man. And
the thing you know about all these players is they don't mind if they're the one that gets peppered with shots. They all want that opportunity. When they see the stats after the game, they want to have the most total shots. They all take it as a slight if they're what's considered the lesser of the two teammates. So, but there it is right there. Lena saying, "It's all right, Anna. I got you."
Yeah,
Vivian not able to dig it.
Lena starting on the left too. She was getting more involved in the action there. I think that's better overall for their plan. Interesting camera angle here.
LSM, how did they pick teams tonight? Our buddies down with PickleDAO, I think, don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure they just tried to keep it as evenly duper rated as possible. We'll run the math throughout the night to see if that's true. And as with the rest of this, don't fact check most of what me and Johnny say. But I think it was by the most fair duper rating. 7-4. Viv and Leah trying to get to that magical 11th point first. And whenever I seem to talk about a team, something goes wrong. And with that, Vivian hits it into the net. Lena's serve.
So scoring, I am going to mention this about the scoring. It is an MLP type scoring, playing 1st to 21. So you will see that rally scoring in effect. A little long on the lob from Anna there.
Yeah, I'm going to... And I hate saying this, but the one thing that will always be is honest. We're going to look at the stats after this first game, and I have a sneaky suspicion it may not look too positive for Miss Bright. The great thing about this setting is you have the rest of this game, you have your mixed match, and you have the potential for a dream breaker. So if there's ever a time to maybe go slow, it's at that beginning point. Feel yourself out. This is a different setting than a pro tournament. They're in someone's backyard. We're going to give everyone, until the change at 11 to get their feet wet here.
I was going to say, Zook, I don't know about you. It takes me at least a match to get
one match.
Probably three. At least that's what I say every time.
Whenever I lose the first match, I say I never count the first one. And whenever I win the first match, it's a, hey, I told you I didn't need to warm up.
Exactly. So here's the cross-court dink battle, not really getting underway. And they were looking for that cross-court dink battle.
Yeah.
Is so common.
There's a lot of power in this match. So the cross-court dinks haven't lasted too long. You can see even there's been a lot of driving, a lot of power from these four women. At 10-9, we got one more before the switch. I know it's modified MLP. We'll see here. We might have heard before that they're actually not switching to keep with time. We know normally 11's that magical number where you would switch sides. We'll see here if that's the case.
Just hitting the tape on that drop. Unloading. There we go.
Firefight! Woo woo! And that's one for Anna.
And that's really where she excels, right? She's got quick hands. Usually she takes a little bit of a half step, maybe two, or a half step or a whole step back off the line to give her some time to unload. Nice get.
What a get.
And again, defense
Let's
from Anna.
go.
Too much power. And there was some controversy before this match. It came out that we slighted Leah Jansen on her power a little bit. I think there was a little bit of a
Johnny.
lost in translation, and we could talk about that more later. But yeah, there was a lot of power on that put away. So,
Well,
So they
look,
are stopping at 11.
I
They
had
are
nothing to do with those
graphics.
I had nothing to do with the graphics this week. All right, so that one doesn't fall on me, fellas. All
they
right.
were out of our hands.
Now, Zook, I know we have a guest lined up right about now, right?
Yeah, we have our first guest of the night. Our buddy from Just Paddles, Ben, was super excited when he got back to us to join in. Mr. Ben, how we doing?
I got to tell you, it was tough. This was a new platform for me, so I was freaking out. I'm sweating, this light on my face, so I'm happy to be here, though.
Glistening. Thanks for
Thank
joining.
you. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, you know, I get that with a lot of people that this is their first time doing StreamYard. Once you do it once, it's super simple, but I get that. I get maybe panicking a little bit when you're not sure what to do. I see you message me. I didn't even answer you. That's my fault. But happy you're here. Happy you're joining with us. Really excited to kick this whole thing off from you because I don't want to say stole or kind of took it from you, but a lot of when I decided what I wanted to do in the pickleball world with content came from some of your interviews that you've done with some of the top players. And when I was getting into the game and getting into the pro side, I was trying to see as many different interviews as I could to get to know these players. But obviously you and Just Paddles is a lot more than just the interviews that you do with the professionals. Before we get into talking about these specific players and maybe have some fun and call the match a little bit, do you want to give everyone a little bit of background into who you and Just Paddles are?
Yeah, sure. I mean, me doesn't matter, right? But so I started working for Just Paddles. They're an online retailer for paddles about a year ago. We're coming up on 2 years in the business, but just like you guys, we are like full send in on this. Super excited to be a part of it because like every day there seems like this something's coming up new, and just the sport is just so exciting. And then look at this, like we're in backyard pickleball, and it's like the coolest, newest thing that I've ever seen. So I'm so happy to be here.
It's crazy, and I love it. I truly mean it when I love it for people like you, because I've been playing for a long time, but until this massive growth and what's been going on very recently, I wasn't too much into the, making the content, having an Instagram page and stuff like that. So people like you that have been around for a while, I'm very excited to see all the hard work paying off because you've laid the foundation for what's been going on. What has this growth been like for someone like you who's been in the space for a while?
It's just so cool because, pickleball, I don't think anybody had a clue where it was going to go. But like, especially recently in the last few months, like we talk, of some of the names that have gotten into the sport, LeBron, Tom Brady, Gary Vee, like keep going down the list, Drew Brees. And then it's not going to stop here, especially with like the new things that have just started happening. But it's just so cool. Like, I don't think we're even at the tip of the iceberg as far as how far this thing's going to grow. So, but who I love it for is these like 4 people on the court and all the professionals. Like they are they are elite athletes. They spent their life doing this. They grind, and they're gonna. I really hope they, it pays off for them.
Yeah, and it's great, and I love that they were able to throw an event like this for them. 100% what you said. The more we can, quote unquote, show these great pros off. 1, to show the viewers how great this sport is. 2, to show them that their hard work has put them at the top, and we all see them as those top athletes. So the perfect manifestation of what this whole sport is trying to be can be found in this one night, which I'm super excited for. One question from the chat: who's your favorite player? And if it's not Lee Whitwell, you can't answer.
All right. Well, then who's my second favorite player? Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can go on the spot. I honestly oh man, that's like the spotlight, right? Like you're just calling out, you're upsetting a million, and one person likes you.
How about this? I'll say mine, just so we start throwing it out there. My favorite pickleball player is Megan Fudge. I love Megan Fudge. There's something about her where, and I've even said this, and she's liked it and agreed with me that sometimes she goes into matches and she's just not as skilled naturally as the other people, and she's just grinding the mat, diving all over the place, being a human backstop. She may have no winners herself, but she has no unforced errors, and she's forcing the hand on her opponent. That style of play is, I feel like if you're ever just trying to root for someone from the beginning, it's a very, very easy person to root for.
And anybody like that, whether they're like a 3-5 or a top pro, like if you're a dog, like I will watch.
She's got the heart of the dog.
It's just fun, man. If they're like flying around the court, I don't care if you're playing for like a medal and $0. Like I love when those girl, guy, whoever it is, like if you're a dog, I'll watch.
That's just like the MMA scene, right? Like usually when I pick my MMA fighters, they're scrappers, right?
Yeah.
So totally
just fun to watch. Like, yeah, you might not like you said, I'm not saying she's not, but like if you're not the most talented, but you're an animal on the court, like you're a problem, and I don't want to play you because I know you're never gonna give up.
I got more
tape help on that point.
Yeah, we got more questions to go through, but I see that the score is 15-17 now, so let's turn our attention. Have you gotten the chance, Ben, to have a conversation with any of these four ladies?
I have not yet, and I feel like they're probably getting so many requests from everybody that I just like fall into the sea of DMs that maybe they don't ever read, but I hope so. I'm gonna keep trying and get people on there. But full disclosure, as I was talking and listening to you guys, I was watching these battles. You know, you think like, you know, you watch SportsCenter Top 10, right? And you're like, oh, that's the best play. But that was like one of the only good plays of the game. These ladies are like battling right now, and almost every rally is like a firefight. It's awesome.
It's so good.
It's great, and I think that's what the backyard, maybe not playing for a medal, allows them. Maybe instead of a dink, it's a drive. Maybe instead of just hitting it back, it's going for a shot down the line, because, you know, we want these to be as important as possible. But the facts of the matter are they aren't playing for a gold. But allowing them to see that, maybe untap something where they try shots they never would have before, then they take it back on tour and they have more tools in their toolboxes. And we'll get the chance to ask them some of that, you know, in this next week, in this upcoming week and next week when we get the chance to talk to some of them, if they learned anything about themselves. I want to cut myself off, though, because this is match point. Vivian and Leia have the serve. Are we going to get a dink battle?
You see Anna and Lena, too, have switched sides on.
You said that would happen, Johnny. You called that.
Yep, they switched a couple times now.
Oh, my gosh.
Backhand speed
up.
Wow. Load it down right there.
Firefight.
Oh,
okay.
Just off the edge.
Clips and go out. Sportsmanship. That was a great match. Ben brought it up, and we were saying that even before he popped on. Not so many dinks and kitchen rallies. These girls were driving it. You had some power with those four ladies that maybe matched with these men as well that we have coming on the court now.
Hey, Zook, you see this a lot in the women's game, right? The women's double game, you see the firefights often. It's almost more exciting. I would say even more exciting than the men's doubles game. Many times you get those cagey dink battles with the men. Doesn't always translate well on the screen. But, man, when the women get going, you know, and you saw a lot of those tomahawk backhands from Viv, you know, she's been relying on that. And you don't want to hit it her way. She just has such a range on that backhand, but fantastic win for those two.
Yes, to this question real quick, I just wanted to say we're recording this stream, and they're recording the local stream as well that they have there. So after this, if you want to go watch back for the better quality of just the game, you won't hear my stupid voice over it. We will have that, and we will be sharing that. And here are the stats. So kitchen rallies and firefights were just dominated in a way that the score being 21-16 is a little interesting. There might have been, when there was just some basic stuff going on that North may have been making some mistakes, because if you're up by 6 on kitchen rallies and 5 on firefights, a lot of times you're winning that match by closer to double digits.
Yeah,
So-
we're probably looking at unforced errors on the drives or
Yep.
third shot drops that just didn't make it in. But
Wait, we've got a shirtless pickleballer on the court. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to go back real quick to just player impact for a second. It was on the screen for a moment there, but the player impact stat we find very fascinating from Real Stats. Shout out to Ben. It's a fantastic stat because it aggregates both the player impact and also the errors that they face. So you had a +4 player impact for Leia Jansen. She was solid in her shots. She wasn't making very many errors. You saw a +1 for Viv David. And then you'll see, actually, she's got +2 according to, +2 according to the final stats. They had her at +1 initially. So those two with the largest player impact. You see Lena at 1 on a +1 net, and then Anna Bright at a 0. So she was neutral between her errors and her winners.
Sorry, Johnny, I'm messing this whole thing up while you're talking.
We'll get there.
I'm trying to find the player impact rally. Player impact, perfect.
Hey, Shay said zoom back in on the match. Gold.
That's incredible. What you guys are pulling up right there is unbelievable. That's so
yo,
cool to like. It's kind of like the NBA stat, like, hey, when LeBron's on the court, they're +14 or whatever, and then when he's off, whatever it is. But that's awesome.
Yeah, this is all from Real Clear Stats, and behind the scenes, Ben, I'll hook you up with this guy. He's great, and if you ever wanted to use like any of his stuff, he's super cool. His name is Ben. Also, he's there right now, statting this live for us. And we're getting, we can go down the whole match and see what point was an unforced error, what point was a winner. Again, for the quick purposes, this player impact score is the all encapsulating. The one thing I always like to draw attention to is, let's say Ben is +2 and I'm +2, but Ben is +2 through 9 winners and 7 errors, and I'm +2 through 2 winners and 0 unforced errors. The story of our game is still completely different. We may have had an overall impact of +2, but the style that we play, the way we impacted our partners, and this is the stuff where I think players, when they're deciding who their partner is going to be or what style of play works best for them, they can kind of look at their stats, see what type of player works best with that style of player, and then instead of taking people's opinions or the small snippets that they watch when they're off the center court, these numbers don't lie. And there's more than this. There's rally wins. There's firefights that we saw. Look at Leia's percentage on the accuracy of firefights. My God.
So this is kind of what I wanted to get to. Obviously, you saw, it was kind of fascinating. Unforced errors, both Leia and Viv both had 5 unforced errors. So they did have their share of unforced errors. Lena played pretty solid pickleball. I think she only had 1 unforced error. Anna did have a few early. She had 4 for the match. But the firefights, when you see the women's game, right, that's where it really you look to see what's happening. And you can see how many hits per start right there. So the most aggressive player was Leia by far. And you see she likes to do those drives. She does have power. I'll be the first to admit she's got some power, guys. So it might not have translated with our preview, but she definitely has power. She plays the singles game a lot. She's aggressive. And she's got accuracy with that as well. So she was also targeted, it looks like 8 times on those firefights. So she got her fair share sent back to her. Many times that happens when you start the firefight, you start the hand speed battle, you got to expect it to at least come right back at you, and then you go for the put away. And both her and Viv both had a smaller percentage in terms of the shots per winner ratio there in the file as well.
No, that's amazing. And, I hate to do this, but we're on the schedule of rolling guests, and I could probably talk with Ben all night. And to be honest, I'm going to hit Ben up right after this.
Ben.
When we can do an Instagram live that we can actually spend the full hour and 15 minutes talking. But before I let you go, we covered Just Paddles. Check them out on Instagram. So much good stuff there, from the content side to the actual getting accessories for the game that you need to play. It's really all encapsulating. The next match is Thomas Wilson and DJ Young versus Brandon Sekpong and Dekel Bar. Do you have a quick forecast of what's going to happen in that match?
I'm gonna say Bar wins 21-18. And I think I'm going to go on it, and they're going to end it in a firefight. He's going to flip it up, and Bar's going to hit an overhand forehand winner for the win up the middle. That's
okay.
Total guess, but we'll see how it goes. I'll watch, and then
if that happens, we'll hit you up for the lotto numbers right after. I got you on Instagram.
If that happens, I swear to God, on live, I will split it 3 ways with you guys.
That's what we love to hear. Well, Ben, it was nice to get to meet you face to face. Like I said, we're gonna talk behind the scenes after this and decide what we can do to collab a little bit further. But as I said up the top, perfect person to start this whole series with. No matter how many events we do in the future, our man Ben from Just Paddles. Check out his account. Check out all his stuff he's doing. Have a great night, brother.
Thank you, guys. What you're doing is awesome. I can't wait to see more.
Thank you, brother.
We'll keep it coming.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure to meet you.
Great conversation with Ben.
Yeah, no, he was one that it's just look, I'm not going to sit here and we're saying we're doing stuff that's that much different on the he has great conversations with some of the top pros, and it's stuff that I listened to before I started having conversations with the top pros. So
how are we doing on that next match?
I think they're
start
about to begin. I was just resetting the stream because it froze for a second. I'll bring it up now. Here we go.
Thomas Wilson has not been losing. That is a good point. Hey, Shay. And neither is Viv. I mean, Viv's like undefeated for like 2 weeks now. This is nuts. I take that back.
So this was going on, and they just didn't have the score up.
Yep.
So that's why they took a break. They took a breather because there was no scoreboard. 4-2, Wilson Young versus Bar, and then Sekpong.
Thomas Wilson is all over the court right now.
Yeah,
actually say that's Dekel too with Brandon.
So some more dinking in this one.
Yep, and we will see that in the men's game. There's a little bit of a speed up. Caught the tape from Brandon. And that, oh, man. Very sneaky.
No refs in this, so everyone's calling their own lines, calling everything.
Lob, and then look at Thomas with that slice. Just it was just enough that Brandon didn't hit all the way through that. If you're going to return a slice shot like that, a super slice, you got to really drive through it.
Hey, Shay, this is from Nordstrom's. My mom got it for me.
And Zook left me hanging. He didn't tell me he was wearing a tie.
I was just feeling myself a little bit. And what's funny, like, if anyone at work saw me, like, they'd be like, wait, you dress up one way to work and you're putting on a tie and t-shirt to like call pickleball at night? It's like, yeah, you gotta dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And this is the job I want. All right, 5-4.
Hey, yep, 5-4. DJ Young, 6.19 duper on that last one. You'll see Thomas Wilson is going to be hyper aggressive looking for that Ernie. I love that he's starting on the left here. He has been looking for the Ernie already. Ooh, and the lobs. These guys are both just going after the lobs.
Yeah, this match, that's what I love about this game and these players and partnerships is, look, it's all pickleball and it's not foreign language, one match to the next, but the style of play. You go from a dink match to a firefight match to a match where, they're just going for killers straight away. There's no one game. I don't get bored sitting there for a whole day watching game after game.
That is the craziest. That was such a get. That ball just rolled on the tape, and this is still going. Cross court is going. And Brandon is tall. You can't. You got to be careful lobbing him. He's got that Andiamo shirt, so he's got the Julian Arnold energy tonight. Dekel 6.8 duper.
6-5 is the score, and it's earlier in the game, so I'm happy that our guest is joining us right now because she's someone, and she was in the background. And I think she just lost connection, but she'll be back.
Hey,
I'll message her to come back in.
One of the first things I noticed about
she's here.
All right, we'll let her on.
This is someone who I'm really excited to get the chance to talk to, and someone that as pickleball grows, I just want people to hear her story. You can take it for what it is, and she can tell the story how she wants to tell it. But I'm really excited to be joined by Amy Zatterman. Miss Amy, I think you're on mute. Oh, there you go.
Now we got you unmuted.
We'll figure this out with Amy. Amy's someone that I'm excited to get the chance to talk to. We'll keep paying attention to the Dekel Bar, Brandon and Sekpong, Thomas, DJ match.
This match is back and forth. We got a little bit of a lead change, and not only do we have that, but it's just about neck and neck.
Yeah,
Just a little long
they're
on that.
going for it. I've seen Brandon go for a few where he's missed and he's looked at Dekel and said, "My bad," but you could see that's the type of and there's
And
Ashley right there. He's going for some
Ashley
shots.
and Sekpong. Hello, Ashley. Good to see you on the stream. You guys just getting back from Costa Rica as well. I messaged Brandon yesterday and was like, "Are you guys getting off the plane yet?" So we know you guys were traveling. But now we've got Amy back. Amy, can you hear us well? We still don't have any audio from you, Amy. So
Yeah, still no
sorry.
audio for Amy. Jigga's in the back, seeing if he can fix it. I don't know how. We're gonna find a way to get Amy on tonight, though.
Yep. We have another. Oh, that was in between the legs from DJ
Oh,
and just wide. Those, just that, it's such a filthy move. If you can pull that off. Yeah.
9-9. Remember, they are switching at 11.
They are switching at 11, and again, it's just been back and forth. And again, you know, I think for anyone that's newer to pickleball, you'll see with this rally scoring, it kind of negates the just in the pulled too far wide on Thomas there. But with rally scoring, you see that you actually have such an advantage as the returning team. Anytime you serve, you're automatically at a disadvantage in pickleball because you're going to be on the defensive for that third shot. You have to let that ball bounce, right? So that's pretty expected. If you played pickleball, you should know that rule. But when it comes to rally scoring, it's really putting you on the defensive as the serving team. So anyone's game, 11-10.
And that, what you just said is like the major difference of it all, right? Like with the style of how much better an advantage you have on defense while now being able to pick up points. Quite interesting in how you can stop runs and start runs. Miss Amy, do we have you?
Amy, why don't you go ahead and give us a chance or give us a chat there, see if we can hear you.
Sing something.
Well, Zook, do you want to just share a little bit about while they're working on that, just why you have Amy on? I know that would probably...
I hesitate to do that because the one thing I'll say is whether we can't get Amy working tonight with the audio, we'll get her on with something where I want to allow her to tell her story. It's not my story to tell. So we'll see if we get her.
Muted right now, Amy. We're seeing you muted. Dekel with that backhand overhead. Nice get
Can't
from Brandon.
unmute because guests chose to mute themselves, Amy. That's what I'm getting. All right, yeah, Amy's gonna try again. If not, we'll definitely have her on. She's a crazy story. She's a crazy cool story. Not a story you ever want to wish to tell, but a story that I'm happy the way that it ended. So we'll get to Amy at some point. But right now we got
a match. We got a call. This is incredible. Oh, he went for broke.
Oh, Mr. Wilson's war. Couldn't take that one.
Sick. I hope he's all right, though.
He's good. He's good. He bounced back up. I saw that.
He's leaving it all out there. You got to love that. In a match like this, it is for charity. But, man.
These guys are the top players in the world, Johnny. You know what happens when, like, in the off season, the guys like LeBron, Carmelo, and these are new guys that play at Chris Brinkley, so that's why I'm thinking about them. Like when these guys in the tri-state area play pickup, it maybe the first few points they don't play defense, but then when the score's down to the wire, they start playing. Miss Amy.
Hi.
Hey!
I had some technical difficulties, I think, but I think it's working.
No. This is great. This is great. We were going to find a way to get you on, even if it wasn't this one. We were going to find a way to get the chance to hear from you, because your story is one that I wasn't even making content, streaming stuff, talking pickleball before I reached out to you originally and just wanted to have a conversation, because when I saw that post of yours, that obviously was a genesis of me reaching out that I'll allow you to talk about a little bit. Your story is amazing and shines a little light onto what pickleball could potentially be for some. So whatever you feel comfortable talking about, can you give us a little bit of background, kind of what has happened with you recently and how you have found yourself now, taking some golds at some tournaments?
Yeah, so I started playing pickleball about 15 months ago, but more importantly, I was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic and liver cancer 8 years ago. And I was given like a 3-week window to live and basically no treatment options, just palliative care straight into hospice. And I fought to become a medical guinea pig, and by some miracle, and a lot of shit, I started showing progress. And after basically 5 years of being bedridden and every sort of side effect imaginable, I started getting my life back. One of the side effects that I had from all of the chemo and radiation that I went through was that I had a thing called a vascular necrosis, or like bone death, where the blood supply to your shoulder or to a joint gets cut off and the joint literally disintegrates. And it happened to my left shoulder, which is my dominant arm. So I'm also like missing discs in my back. I have all this, I just have tons of blind spots, all these neurological issues, neuropathy. So playing a sport again really didn't seem likely, even if I, did have the outcome of survival, which I have had so far. But my husband got me to try pickleball, and I was immediately addicted. I play with my right arm. It's the first sport I've ever played right-handed. Wow. And I literally, for the first probably 3 months, I could barely like even contact the ball, but there was like something super addicting about the sport. And then basically in the last year, I've like kind of rewired my brain and become pretty decent at it. And I'm so excited. I'm going to nationals this year.
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
playing, both in women's and mixed. And I'm sorry.
Oh, he's excited.
You're
He's excited.
Yeah. It's in my cheering squad, apparently.
That sounds just like my dog as well. But no, you're the whole thing is just unbelievable. For me, it kind of, without me taking your story and making it anything other than your story, because it is yours, it just, when people say pickleball is a fad, pickleball is passing, pickleball doesn't have staying power, like whatever you want to say about the professional side or this league or that league or what's going on like with that stuff, for someone like you to be able to utilize this thing for what it becomes, those are the stories that I think we should be telling as to whether this is a fad or not. It's not this guy invested in this league and then this one went and invested in that one and then this player won this prize amount. It's what this game could be for anybody, anywhere. You said you literally couldn't use your dominant hand, so you picked up a paddle and you started playing with your other ones, and now you're at nationals. So it's really incredible. And as this growth of pickleball has started and really taken off over this summer, I know you just said how you originally used it for. You used it to help you get some motor skills back, to get active again. Your husband showed you. You've gotten to the point where you're going to play at nationals now. How far and how seriously are you going to take this thing in the next, upcoming year, 2 years, 3 years?
I mean, I am seriously addicted to the game. I think it has like so many mental health benefits and physical benefits for anybody who participates in it. And I'm going to continue. I mean, I've kind of had an uphill acceleration since starting, and I want to see how far it can take me. I still know I have a long way to go. But with hard work and determination, anything is really possible. I mean, the idea that I could even compete. The only thing I ever really competed at before this was the national spelling bee in like elementary school. So I'm not a natural
How'd
athlete.
you do?
I didn't win. I mean, it's still kind of a trauma for me. I
What, do you remember the word you lost on?
Prism. Of course I remember it. It was that was my childhood trauma.
I don't want to spell it out loud because I'm a little embarrassed that I'm like 90. I'm only like 70% sure.
It's really easy. It's not even a tricky one.
PRISM.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I got I folded under the pressure. So apparently I've grown able to participate in a competitive environment since I got out on a word that I didn't know. But
and Amy, hearing your story too, it shows through your life that you are a competitor, right? And like to have you on the court,
I'm a total warrior survivor. I also had a TBI in high school where my part of my corpus callosum was separated, so my right and left brain weren't connected, and they said I would never regain that right left brain connection. And this sport, has allowed me to do that. I hear
wow.
I can process things and hear things, and I don't know. It's just remarkable, and I think it has enormous benefits for anybody because it has there's such an initial draw to it. People come
addiction,
in there,
some would say.
It is a full-blown healthy addiction. It checks all my self-care boxes. Anytime I'm not with my daughter, I'm literally playing pickleball. My friends joke that if they want to see me, they have to start playing pickleball. It is what it is.
I'm with that. I think we're all getting hit with that bug, at least all of us that are here right now. And the fact that you got hit by the bug and needed to get hit by that bug, right? Let's not talk about ghost stories.
I don't know any other sport or anything that could have brought me back to life in the same way that pickleball did.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to say it. Let's not talk of ghost stories or things that didn't happen, but if you didn't fall in love with it and you didn't have that addiction, who knows if you would have found that hobby that kind of got you going again and got you using your other arm, becoming someone who's able to play at nationals at this level of the fastest growing sport in the world. So it's just incredible, and the story is amazing. Amy, I appreciate you giving us 10 minutes of your time for the story. As I said to Ben, our last guest, I'll definitely be tapping in with you after this stream. 10 to 15 minutes doesn't do the incredible story of Miss Amy Service. So let's put our heads together and plan for something a little bit longer next time. But we appreciate you working with us, fixing your sound, and giving us 10 minutes of your time tonight.
About that. Technology is not my strong suit.
No. We appreciate it, and let's talk again very soon, okay?
Such an honor.
I love that, and I'm just a huge proponent for the sport and anything I can do to help you build your brand and recognition and anything, I'd be happy to help. So just let me know. Be in touch.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Amy. Have a wonderful night, and we will speak
Rooting
soon.
for you, Amy. Can't wait to see some video of you on the court.
Let's go.
Hey, that was great. That's her story is freaking phenomenal. I can see why Zook was so excited to get her on here.
Yeah.
She excites me. I'm not going to sit here and say that the 4 people aren't, people that I look up to because I'm a pickleball player, and obviously I would love to be as good as a professional. But when you want to show off this sport and what it can do for people, or how powerful it can be, or why it's not a fad, like I was saying, you point people towards Amy, and you can take any duper rating, any stat, anything you want to do, I'll take that girl as my partner over anybody any day, and I bet you that we'll have a good chance to win that match. But now we're in the first mixed doubles. We're in the first mixed doubles, which is
Johnny, where you got your money on, bro?
I know who he's got his money on. It's the same people that everyone's got their money on.
I gotta say, you definitely go with Viv and Thomas here, just based on what they've been doing lately. I mean, that's pretty accurate, hey Shay. They don't lose lately. Now, look at that ATP get from Viv. That was just disgusting. She doesn't let him buy her. Like, she's on it.
Are they ever not going to play together again, Johnny?
I don't think they unless someone's not well or it just doesn't work out with the schedule. I mean, they have a connection. I know there's some friendship there between Thomas Wilson's wife and Viv. They live by each other, so they're good friends. But it is really intriguing. You know, this is the cool thing about backyard pickleball. First of all, you got the bright night lights. Like,
this
that's
is
the way
sick.
pickleball's been played. But now you got a new pairing, and we've never seen Anna Bright play with Deco. At least I have. I know most probably haven't, unless it was in some practice session. But look at that. So there's the patented Deco poach. You can do that when you're over 6'3", guys. I know, because I am.
And that works on your partner when you hit a winner, right? But if you know, and I've been as everyone, when the partner steals the ball from in front of me and hits it into the net, I'm maybe not cheering him on as loudly.
Yep. Yeah, don't poach if you can't get the winner. Man, a lot of excitement from Anna on that one.
So I'm going to do that thing, Zook. I'm going to jump off because I think there's somebody backstage knocking that would like to join the party.
Well, I think Miss Gerke.
Let's do this.
What's up?
Cassandra, how we doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. We finally, after a day of time zones, texting, emailing, trying to get in contact.
It's been nuts. November's just nuts. Like, it's just been nuts. I went to Hilton Head, and I had driven there, and so that's from St. Louis, and that, like, totally bad call on my part, because then I wasn't gonna come to California until like almost next week, and then some camps and things popped up, and so duty calls, and so I was home for not even 24 hours yesterday, and I flew back. I'm in Palm Desert, so
wow.
Road warrior.
We
salute you.
Let's go.
So you see, this is Tom Wilson, Vivian David versus Dekel Barr and Anna Bright. Anything about those matchups, like, immediately makes you think of one thing here or there?
So I think what a lot of people would notice right off the bat is that Thomas Wilson and Vivian have just been slaying it lately, which is super awesome.
Put it lightly, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've won the last two large APP tournaments, and the draws, especially for mixed doubles, have been insane. And so for the two of them to you know, rock and rally, even to go twice in a row, is just like, it's impressive. So I think the training squad at Dreamland right now is, I was just kind of thinking about this. If you're watching kind of who's been on top, who's like really kicking some butt, I mean, you've got some studs in Texas right now. Stuff. And so when you have a star-studded lineup that you get to drill with all the time, you got Dekel, Zane just moved there. Yeah. You got Thomas Wilson, and DJ Young, Lena is there, and I don't know where Anna Bright lives right now. I don't think she's a Texas person yet, but that lineup is just crazy. And so, you know, for them to be able to have the training squad that they do, you can see real quick why they're all in the finals all the time, or why they make it, you know, through such a large draw. So
yeah, and you think about what Thomas and Viv, you know, getting to practice together, they have an off-court connection as well. It's just like they know what needs to be done. Like, they both, and you notice it in their playing, they are loose, they are smiling. They seem like the happiest pair you've seen on a court ever. And you're right. They absolutely are slaying, because they're at a different level. They are just feeling it.
Yeah. I think so Vivian's really close to Thomas's wife, and I
Yep.
don't know her name. Brittany, I think maybe. I could totally be wrong.
We
there.
were talking about that before, though. Yeah, that she was close to his wife. Yeah.
I haven't met her, so I probably just totally ruined that name. It was probably like not even close to Brit. Like it's probably not even close, but I know that they're all good friends and things like that. I think they play very well together. Because with a player like Vivian, who's just solid. Yeah, check out that replay with the
Ernie
nice
body bag.
Ernie.
It's exciting to watch the two of their dynamic because I think he does literally the right mix of getting involved, but also letting her like rule the roost when she's playing because, he doesn't need to come take the balls all the time. She's awesome. She can handle it.
I think that also translates well to the viewer, right? Because sometimes viewers don't like when they only see like the man poach or like take all the dinks, right? And you see that sometimes with some of these pairings, but they do have this balance. And Viv has her strengths. She has quick reflexes, quick hands. That backhand, I mean, she has such range because she can get so low. She has so much range above and below with that backhand. She's hitting everything.
The viewers thing, I think people just need to quit being wussies. And if you don't play the pro level, like you do not have any room to speak about the pro level. And so that stuff drives me nuts because I'm like, have you ever been targeted so much that you don't know what to do? And if this guy doesn't get involved, we are going to lose the game. So I don't care if that guy has to hit 9 out of my 10 balls. If I'm winning the match, I'm sorry. I don't know what you want from us. Like
that is a PSA. There you go.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment, and I also think there's probably a few that have said that they feel that way and don't, but like a large majority are like, hey, if my partner needs to hit 100% of the balls for us to win the match, I'm trying to win the match. So like, if I'm not doing that strategy, then I'm not playing to win, basically. So why are you even out there? Play singles if that's the case. But the point of doubles is to win the match the best way that you can. And, everyone I've seen to ask has said, as long as it's not every single point, like nonstop, and you're letting them get involved a little bit, if the best shot is Deckel coming across and getting a powerful shot instead of Anna, like you can see Anna's reaction. If it's a winner, she's just as excited as if she hit it. And that's how a partnership should be.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the times what people don't understand, it's not so much they don't trust us or they want to take our ball or they're whatever, just poaching crazily. It's putting pressure on the other team to hit a perfect shot, or they're going to have to deal with the wrath of, the guy being able to come over and grab that. So then with that pressure, you have added mistakes from the other team. So it's not always just he stole my ball. Like there is a process and a setup for that. And it's talked about beforehand. Like I said, I think until you play pro doubles, you have this type of pressure on you where these dinks are coming in hot. They have twice as amount of spin. Balls have twice the amount of pace on them.
Yeah, and this point is classic.
Yeah,
you can see in the mixed doubles game, the cross-court dink battle, like you'll see the women get involved on those cross-court dink battles. It just is going to happen from the right to the right. So sorry to interrupt, but this is
feel free.
See, Jason, we also like how Cassandra tells it as it is, and that's why I said off the top. This probably won't be the last you hear from Cassandra on these airwaves, but just to be honest, like I thought you were coming on at 9:30 with Lee.
I had some time, so you can kick me off whenever. So
well, I have someone coming on it. I just want to make sure, like, if I have someone come on at 9 and then 9:10, will you'll come back on with Lee, right?
You can boot me whenever. I'll come back. I got done early.
Okay, no, perfect. I just want to make sure that like you're gonna be back on because you and Lee are our secret the secret sauce that everyone loves to hear together, and calling that mixed doubles match with you guys will be a lot of fun. But all right, so
we got 2 more minutes. I was just going to say real quick to that point. Yeah, Cassandra, I think it just takes education of the average viewer, right? At this point, and the new viewer, and we have such good commentators on all the tours, and they do a great job of talking about that
They
live.
do.
But it's the clips, right? Pickleball is such a great bite-sized clip for social media sport. It translates so well, but the education takes a little while to catch up. So as new viewers come into the game, they just have to be educated on the strategy, and it'll get there.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with that. I think the Ernie, you see a lot more women doing the Ernie now, or the attempt, or the movement, and I think that's something that I try to educate people on as well, because honestly, there's like multiple reasons why you would Ernie. Like I can name off 4. One, I get the Ernie and feel like a total like badass, and it's like
The most important.
whole world. 2, I move, and this doesn't happen at our level as at like really ever, but a lower level, I go make the move and people kind of panic and they dump it in the net or hit it out or do something in the game. Option 3, I don't get the ball, but my mixed doubles partner comes over and gets the ball, which is what I wanted to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to get him the ball. And because if I'm going cross court, dinking forehand and forehand, it's hard to get that person involved all the time. So it's just another option.
Hey, Cassandra.
Hey.
So, being backstage, doing the producer thing, I had to jump on for a second because I listened to everything you said, and I'm walking away with, and tell me if I'm wrong, your advice is I should have my sons be my doubles partners so they do all the running around and I just stay in one place?
Correct. I mean,
all right, just make sure I was reading that right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm no dummy. Like, I don't want to move. Like, I'll just pick up my little quarter of a box and I will go for my Ernies. I will get you the ball, and that's what it is. So
17-17
more. Yeah, this game is tight. Cassandra, I think we're gonna have you back on here in just a little bit, but this is
half an hour with Lee.
Stay backstage. We're keeping her back there. Lock her in. All right. Now, I know we had another guest lined up. Right?
Yeah, and he's coming up right for the end of this game. I told him 9. Should I let him show his ugly mug a minute earlier?
Oh, snap. No, he doesn't want it.
9 o'clock on the
he
dot.
messaged me and told me, he was like, yo, if I knew Zook was wearing a tie,
he's like, why does Zook keep messaging me? I did one stream with him, and now he won't stop messaging me. 9 o'clock. Here's the man, the myth, the legend. If you tuned into our episode last Thursday, he was a ton of fun. Mr. West Burrows. And my first question to you, sir, is do you have any idea why you're here and what we're doing here?
0. No.
Perfect. That's how we like it. That's how we like it.
I saw you in the tie, and I was like, "What the hell is going on right now?"
That was it. He's like, "I can't. I gotta leave. I gotta go, guys."
Yeah, and then you had Cassandra on before that, and I was having flashbacks to when she earned me a bunch of times in Vegas. My partner Lauren Stratman was like, "She's gonna earn you. You just have to deal with it." I'm like, "She's not gonna earn me. It's not gonna happen." And then she did it repeatedly over and over again. Great.
In that case, hold on a second. Hey, Cassandra.
No.
Yes, roasted. West Burrows, I own you. Like,
I own you.
She does.
Yo,
it's so funny because the first time it happens when you play me, the partner that like is with them always warns them. Warns them. I watch them like literally like before they
match
start.
Point.
I watch her go like this. Don't give her that. It was like 2 points and he does it, and like Lauren just goes, like just looks up, starts laughing.
Match point for Bar. Match point for Bar and Bright right here. A lot of Anna fans in the chat.
Yeah.
What an upset this would be from coming down from quite so many points before the change.
I think we're at 14-8 at one point.
Yeah, definitely huge dogs if Vegas had lines on this.
The big and
Anna knows. She knows the moment that she had. She knows with a team like this, when you have them on the ropes, you may only get one winning point, especially with rally scoring, but then only being able to win on your serve. It's gonna get a little interesting down here.
Yeah.
Too much from Tom. Too much from Tom.
Look for that Ernie. And he had it. He's been aggressive with those Ernies the last couple of tournaments, and that's one thing I was talking to Zook about at the beginning of this. Is he's just been on it. So
when you're on Johnny, right, that's when you go for the things that like you might not normally go for because everything's working, right? Like they can do no wrong and they keep ending up at the top of the podiums. Wes, is there any? I know you mentioned Cassandra. Is there any of these four that you either have history playing with or against that sticks out to you that before this match started, would you have thought it was going to go a certain way that wasn't the way it is here, basically even at the stretch?
I'm fortunate to never have to have played against Bar at all. So like watching him is so fun to me because he's just such a different player in general.
Huge.
But I've never had to play against him. I mean, all of these other people have beaten me repeatedly. So yeah, there's history. I heard you guys talking about Vivian. Like she's just so tough to attack,
So
and like
good.
you're playing mixed doubles, and there's just
Look at
nowhere
that.
to go
Like
with her.
that.
She
Like
stays
right there.
solo. She resets everything.
Yep.
So. And she's the sweetest, nicest person on the planet, which
Always has a smile.
is
Johnny's
assassin.
number one note for any player that he gave for me tonight was Vivian David equals the smiling assassin.
She really is. It's amazing that she can like be competitive and be that like just outwardly nice to people at the same time. Like she's taking souls and then she's just like smiling while she does it, and it's frustrating. Anna, I've won a couple matches in MLP against her before, so
Okay.
but for the and then Thomas has beaten me the 2 times we've played. So I guess but it sounds like Vivian and Thomas have been playing so well.
Vivian and Thomas have won their last 2 golds that they've played together.
She's not letting anything by. And there's that tomahawk. There. Oh,
wow. See, this is what happens. This is like at any local court when it gets to game point. It doesn't matter what happened up to this moment or how much fatigue has set in. It's all out.
Yeah, and regardless of what's going on, what's at stake, like none of these teams want to lose right now.
No. Oh! Anna Bright and Deckelbar do it. The Anna stands in the chat, including Jigga behind the scenes, are going crazy.
I told you I was going in today. I told you.
This is a highlight reel. I mean, the defense that Viv and Thomas, and actually, that's a huge accomplishment for them.
That's
to
a
lose
huge
this
win.
match.
That's a huge win. It's not going to show up on pickleball tournaments. It's not going to show up on like.
This might be a duper match. They're showing.
It might be a duper match. 1, but 2, people will like they beat them. They beat them. That was incredible. Upset. Wow, they did it. Get it, Bright side. Deckel is lucky he never had to face US. Yes, all right, Anna Bright. We got Anna Bright stands.
I'm telling you.
It was Anna, all Anna.
So real quick, Zook, Wes, we got you for a couple minutes, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, cool. So guys, let's take a quick commercial break. Want to make sure we first give a shout out to one of the sponsors, SAPS. So I want to take a quick commercial break and thank them for sponsoring this event. Check it out. That's it. Now I need to go get myself a drink. All right. So Zook's sneaking away to get a drink real quick. You know he's super uncomfortable in a tie, so he's probably like regretting that decision.
Right on.
Did they make him do that?
No.
What'd you say?
Did they make him do? He chose to do the tie. He was like, the tie is the look tonight.
Somehow he went from backyard to tie, and he pulls it off. He's got the backwards cap on to offset it.
Not so fast, ladies and gentlemen.
He's bad.
Not so fast.
He went like North Carolina, like Tar Heel colors too. He looks like he's like one of the assistants on the Tar Heels bench over there.
Oh, that's true. He does. With a little bit of plaid on the shirt too. He's right there. There's
backyard commentators right here. This
Nailed
is me. And this is Johnny.
I think I look more like the young Chris Farley on.
I was going to say that one's got a little Chris Farley look there.
Like young Chris Farley. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tail of the tape, and let's look. So Kitchen Rallies won. The North is actually beating the South. And in firefights. So those 2 stats don't tell the tail of the tape. One thing I want to point to, the most important stat, total money raised, $10,623. for the Just Keep Living Foundation. That's Matt and Camilla McConaughey, obviously big in the Texas, Austin area. That's for high school kids and to make sure that they have all the stuff that they need to stay active, to play sports, to get their minds right.
Very cool.
I wanted. There's Evan. That's the guy that's running this. That's Evan. I want to bring up some stats, maybe to dive a tad deeper.
Zook, you think they're announcing anything, or are they just changing sides?
No,
here?
they were just changing mixed. Oh wait.
Yeah, they're gonna make an announcement. Might want to listen in here.
Thanks all for coming out. I'm Evan Flores. I'm one of the co-founders here at PickleDAO. We got tacos, zaps, or troop tonight. You met my co-founder Sam. Very generously running that booth. So appreciate you, Sam, and thank you to all of our sponsors: Zaps, Troop, Electrum. I mean, we couldn't have done it without you guys. And then also, you met the NFT ticketing guys at the front. It's Block Live. It's incredible. If you ever thought, or if you think back to when you went to a ball game and got tickets, and they collected dust in your room, NFT ticketing now provides a way to then go and have these tickets for a lifetime, being able to click on it in your digital wallet, and then seeing even the stats down to, the stats that our team at Real Clear Stats is collecting. You can feel that, like, that kind of nostalgia that, when you look back on the events that you participated in 2, 10, 20 years ago. So super cool. Thank you to the Block Live guys. They built that product in 3-4 weeks. Brent is one of the engineers on the team, both members at ATX Tower as well. So real quick round of applause for them. Outside of that, this is going to be our last game. Real quick, before this begins, I want to thank Tim Klitsch. Believe it or not, it's actually Tim's birthday tonight. It's very backyard, very stripped down kind of vibe that we're going for tonight. I'd love for us all to sing him an happy birthday. Then we can get into our last game. Go. Does that work? Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
I think we can chat a little bit over this. Appreciate Tim Klitsch's birthday. But if we're down to the last game, I mean, it really could go either way here. We've got just tight competition. So our remaining pairs, we're gonna see Leah.
And one thing I just wanted to bring up, here's the stats from the last game. Because we saw that the kitchen rallies and the firefights didn't tell the score. So if we go to player impact, Deckle. So I just want to say this is one of those times everyone in the chat was like, it was all Anna. And I'm not here to say anything negative about anyone, especially all my friends in the chat. Love you all. Deckle dominated in this match.
Can you zoom in on that player impact flow? It just gives such a great visual to this, right? So if you zoom in just a little bit, you see here in terms of where they were, right? We talked about that player impact and where they end up.
Look at Tom.
Right? But you can see how the change is just so linear throughout the game. So yeah, Thomas Wilson taking over early, and you see him being aggressive, looking for those earnies. And you actually see where Anna, again, when Deckle kind of started doing the poach thing that he does, just being, he's got the length, he's got the reach. When he's at his best, he's just kind of everywhere. All right, like it's hard to get past him. He's super involved at that point in the game, and that's where he ended up. I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah, some returner, some third shot. Yeah, Deckle played one of those games. He played one of those games. If you have a 7-player impact,
and the total hits are pretty even across the board. Normally, you'll see a lot more, directed towards maybe the right side a little bit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, pretty even across the board. Obviously, Anna didn't need to do anything spectacular in there if Deckel was going to just take over on the court. And we've got our final match of the day coming up.
Yeah, we got our last match.
So, Wes, what's your impression here on Backyard Pickleball? You've seen kind of what it is. You didn't know what you're getting into. You've got the lights. You've got the yard. What are your thoughts initially on this format? We got you muted.
Yeah, you're good.
I was talking earlier and you guys had muted me, so I was just like, you know what? You guys don't want to hear what I have to say.
No, we were muted for the whatever, and
I was trying to, I had no idea what I was walking into. I didn't realize it was just going to be all pros. I thought it was sort of like a combo celebrity thing or something like that. So this is fun to see some real pickleball tonight. I'm pumped.
Yeah, top players. Yeah, it's from the first point of the first match. When the ladies were going up against each other, the first match was like
the warm up. They weren't messing around.
It was like a 20-point rally, like on 1 point until someone finally hit it out. But there was firefights, there was returns, it was crazy. But this one has started with Jansen and Young going out to a little bit of a head start.
This looks like a ton of fun, though. I like the idea of playing in the backyard, keeping it cool.
Oh,
having some beers, having some tacos. Like, this is what pickleball is all about.
This is exactly what it's about. And it's a great product.
I want a game like this twice a week in my hometown where I can just kind of go. People are hanging, people are drinking and eating. This would be perfect.
I love it. Not to get too far into future plans, but the plan with this was to kind of, because MLP has been so gracious and they helped us hook up with these players, is the 6 events or whatever they have next year during the week on a night like tonight. Say there's an event somewhere in Utah. We'd go to someone's backyard in Utah that could host us like this, and we'd kind of do it there as a nice precursor to where me and Johnny with our guests would be talking about this and just breaking down, obviously, what was going to happen that weekend. And I think that's a beautiful way to use it. But like you're saying, shouldn't only be done there. Like, this is such a beautiful product that I have 5 or 6 people that are there that are just texting me like, I'm having so much fun. I'm taking pictures with all of the athletes that like I've been watching. So it seems to have been going as good as it can as an event, which makes me think that they're going to want to do it again sometime soon. And as fans, 3 dudes that are just watching 4 top people play, like, me and Johnny would be doing this anyway if we weren't streaming. We'd be talking about a match while we were watching it. So what's better than doing it with a bunch of more people that can comment back and forth?
That's awesome. And your guys' passion definitely shows too in all your guys' work. So it's cool to see people kind of nerding out on it a little bit. Even if, some of your stats breakdown is maybe like borderline too nerdy, it's still fun to watch.
Eventually,
Wes is a heart guy. Wes is a heart and an it guy.
Go by feel.
Yeah. Wes will have his Wes BPI that is a power rankings of the size of the fight and the dog. And all it is inverse of normal stats.
Right. Like what random stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
All I was gonna say was that was a sick backhand get by Brandon, full extension.
That's such a dope angle of when we have like a dink off like right there, because you can really see like, are they lunging too much, why they miss. It gives us that whole.
And Brandon has reach, so for him to get that, not many people would have been able to get that.
Brandon has worked on his game so much, and it's so easy to see.
I've never seen Brandon play. This is the first time I've met him once, but I've never seen him play.
He's a phenomenal player. I like him more for all the stuff you see him do off the court than on the court. So him being a pickleball player is just a little bit of that special sauce on top. But all the stuff that he's producing is like helping younger kids in his hometown, like playing stuff like that. And that's the good stuff. But when me and Johnny were talking to him, he said, yeah, he loves doing that. But this is the year. He's practicing every day, twice a day. Like, if he's going to do it, like, he's starting it now.
He's out at 12 months of all out. He's out working out at sun up, posting the videos on Instagram.
I watch his Instagram lives just to relax sometimes. When I'm at my office meditating, I'll put him on playing by himself.
He's breaking exercise bands. You don't see that too often. That takes some power. So
that's real athleticism that I don't possess. Yeah.
Right on. So no, it's such a joy. He's a great personality in the sport and just a brilliant mind too. He's entrepreneur. He's got his hands in a few things. He's been partnered with Duper for a while too. So fantastic.
This is what it's all about, Kung Fu D. Get a paddle, play. You'll become addicted. fair to say that Brandon and Lena are the underdogs in this match, right?
For sure.
Yeah, you
I'm
would
not even
say
going to
so on
say who it
paper.
is, but I'll say this out loud. I sent the list to someone else who I respect their opinions, and they might have said that if there was one person out of their league, it may have been Brandon. I disagree with that. I have blinders on because he's also, besides Megan Fudge, probably like she's my favorite overall player. He's probably my favorite male from watching on tour. Like, do you guys get that sense from the 8 people here that Brandon fits in from that, or is what the person told me potentially the story here?
I
He
think
has a
on
win with
paper,
Deckel already. I mean, I like just in the first match, like on the men's side. Sorry to cut you off there, Wes. He's got a win with Deckel. Those guys were both tall, rangy guys that kept their own, and they're in the match now. It's tied up.
Like I think Brandon's phenomenal, and I think Brandon has maybe where we've gotten to know him at the same exact time that he started those like grinding like every single day, where we've only seen him in like this new style of play that like he's playing. But yeah, I
Sorry.
think he's good.
Wes, what
I
were
think-
you going to mention on that?
Oh, I'm just saying on paper, results wise, all the other men are a little more accomplished, but it has nothing to do with talent or skill.
Okay, I like that.
Just a matter of like we see DJ every weekend getting results at tournaments. We see Deckel,
like
same
that.
with Thomas, and so Brandon wants to get to that level. I think he would say the same thing. And like I saw him hanging around MLP, and like he wanted to be playing in those matches, whereas these other guys are in those matches. Not only are they there, but they're like the top dogs on their teams, regardless of how their teams necessarily did.
Yeah,
But
and I just feel like everything about him, he would definitely be like one hell of a partner that you would just want to play with. And like you said, maybe like ratings wise, put him up there with anyone. If you're matching resumes and experience, maybe not there, but we're projecting right now. We're talking about the future when you're talking about a sport like pickleball. And if we were to see Brandon with the most podiums next year, like I'm not putting odds or the percent chance that it would be, but my jaw wouldn't drop. I'll say that.
And at the very least, you're cheering for that to happen, which I like because he seems like a great dude, and he's
like he's just. And the conversation that we had with him when we got the chance to talk with him was, it's easy to root for good people, and we're in a spot right now where getting to know the players and the players being very accessible when they're out on tours and out at the matches and stuff like that, is you're starting to learn about people. And look, we're splitting hairs when we're talking about how good these people are. We're splitting hairs when we're talking about how really different the play styles are. It's pickleball at the end of the day, and you got to score more points than the other team. The thing that could separate these guys is just like, be nice, like just be enjoyable, be someone that like people want to root for. That's the differentiator here.
Right, like Leia, call that ball in. Just we want to root for you.
She called it out. Someone mentioned Leia, so I want to go back. Zook, how would you rate Leia's power? Leia has told me to rank Leia's power very strong. So I will say Leia's power is very strong.
She's one of the longer players too, for sure. So she's got a long lever. She played tennis for sure. So she's got some power whether she uses it or not.
Yeah, she drives and she uses power.
You see her be aggressive with it, right? You saw that in the women's match earlier. You see it when she plays singles too. I mean, she had a match with Anna Lee Waters earlier this year where it was just highlight after highlight because they were grinding out. They're throwing haymakers from the baseline. It's she's a dog. Like she will play hard. I had a question.
Go
that's
ahead.
good. I had a question. So, you see this format too, Wes. This looks like a fun time for you. You had your homie, well, I guess you didn't have him do it, but he just did it. Sam Corey popped on our call last time on Instagram.
I can't believe you let him just come on and steal all my thunder. That was
I know. I said that to Zook afterwards. I was like, I feel kind of bad for Wes. We were having a great chat.
I'm kidding. He's been doing that for years. Even when I was at MLP, I finished one of my matches we won in Newport, and the people come over. They're like, "Hey, can we interview like you and Sam together?" I'm like, "What if Sam was just in the audience? Like, how is he part of this?" And I was like, "Yeah, bring him down. It's okay. It's all good."
That's funny.
Yeah, he's great. He's a funny guy.
Do you think he would be up for playing in an environment like this that only pickleball can provide this type of stage do you think he'd be down to playing something like this?
For sure. I mean, even when I was selling him on the sport in general, like I was telling him twice a week, like Lauren Stratman and I would go to this house in Simi Valley and play in this guy's backyard. Like Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, we rotate with a bunch of different people, and then we would have beers after and maybe have like burgers and stuff. And I was like, this is like what I want my future to be like for the next like 30 years. And so like Sam, I would tell him about that all the time. He wanted to come join us and stuff, but he's been on the road forever. So this is kind of what he envisioned like pickleball being, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
this is like I didn't know what it was gonna be because me and Johnny have been dealing with a lot of hosting on the virtual end, and my hat's all screwed up and I look ugly.
You look great.
We've been worried about the virtual, so I wasn't tapped into like what it was gonna look like here. This is pickleball. This is pickleball. But being at the last doubles and it being 16-15, we'll tap in a little bit closer on these last few points. We got a little bit of a dink off, which has the potential to turn into a firefight. Oh, defense.
Nice. And Brandon's had some great lateral movement on this point.
Let's go. Let's go.
There we go. Sick. Look at that lateral movement.
Oh, baby. DJ says not so fast. And look at that. Look at that. That's a man that left it all on the court at that point. And you could see in his eyes, this is not, he wants to win this game. It's 17-15. It's 17-15.
Yeah, I thought for a second he was just kind of like hamming it up a little bit with those drop shots, but I think he was legit trying to win the point on every one of those shots.
Huge point for Brandon and Lena. Wow. DJ just DJ'd there. There's really nothing to say there. That's an incredible point.
DJ, I think he also felt a little slighted at the beginning of this match or before the match started because the ratings showed that his drops weren't great. Maybe
that's why he was doing those drops. Oh, a blocked Ernie. A blocked Ernie on such a crucial point. This is huge. Good. This is huge. 18-16. You really need one, maybe two here to start feeling comfortable. You don't want to let them get back on serve with the scoring that you have to win, on your serve.
I like the sneak attack there from Brandon.
That was a good drive.
Yeah, he tried to do what DJ just did. So it's interesting to see, when they're playing in the same match, them just taking from each other, which is smart. Come on, Brandon. Come on, Brandon.
And he is taking over a little bit. The drive's working for him.
DJ and Brandon are playing unbelievable pickleball right now. Starting to take over a little bit and encroach a little more with these power shots. You love to see it. The ladies now getting involved.
Ooh.
Brandon with the net. DJ has the ball in his hands now with a chance to get match point with a winner or unforced error by the other team here. Okay. Lena leaves the door open. Lena leaves the door open for Brandon. Sorry. Leia leaves the door open for Brandon and Lena. Leia and Lena have played very solid. Leia and Lena have played very solid. They have not, have they made winners or unforced errors? No, but they've done their jobs with the dinks. Brandon and DJ are going back and forth with correctly choosing when to make that move time after time.
That's it.
Wow.
South wins it on the serve.
Wow. Match point, and it's over.
Wow.
Brandon and Sekpong, for some people saying, who knows
highly
if
entertaining.
He should have been here. He had 2 wins.
I hope he gets the duper credit for that, for sure. For sure. I'm going to hit him up after this, see if he does.
I like
That's
it.
awesome.
So I guess they're not playing the Dream Breaker?
They said this was the last match, so we'll see what they do. I don't know if these guys want to do the Dream Breaker. Maybe this is going to be like one of those rock concerts where, They do the encore. They've got it like they request the encore.
Yeah, we need a dream breaker for fun.
Dream breaker.
Whoever just
Dream
said that.
breaker.
Can you text Zook? Can you text Evan and say we got to get the dream breaker, man?
We're clamoring for it.
It's what the people want.
It's
We're
what
only
the
at an
people
hour and
want.
a half. Brandon, I love it, Ashley. Love it.
Wow. Wow. So Bright takes it. Bright, Lena, Brandon, Deckel, Bar. I love that so much. I love that so much.
No, it's a good atmosphere. I like that.
Dude, Wes, it's such a pleasure having you on again, man.
You're on mute,
Thank you
Jigga.
for
Oh, no, you're good.
hanging out with us. We
Yeah,
actually had something to drink this time. I'm just coffee. It's honestly 2:30 in the morning my time. Norway
Where are
time.
you right now?
I'm just north of Oslo, Norway.
Oh my goodness.
We're
Well,
going to
thanks
do
for
a
being
little
on.
breakdown of the stats if you're in the chat and you're into that. We have some really deep diving stats, and we were streaming this until 10 anyway, so I'm going to stick around until then and go through the deep dive with stats. Johnny, you want to stick around? Wes, you're always free to do whatever you want.
Are you gonna
around
let
these
me?
parts.
I gotta go have dinner pretty soon with my
Okay.
wife. But
Okay.
stayed about as long as I could. But thanks for having me, guys. I
No,
appreciate
dude,
it.
always. We'll talk to
I-
you soon,
I
brother.
would love to join another one sometime.
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
taking it, man.
Thanks,
you guys
Wes.
enjoy it.
All right, take care, guys.
Later, bud. Oh, one leaves and one comes on. Oh, snap. Cassandra, welcome back. Okay, she didn't hear us. Zook, how happy are you, man? Brandon got
Yo,
you the
that
win you were
was
hoping for, bro.
That was so fun. And there's so much that while doing it, like it gets me excited for the next season if we continue to do these and build them out even further. This was fun. Hey, if this was on tonight, I'd be watching it, talking in a Discord with a bunch of my friends that were in the chat tonight. So being able to do it this way was even that much more fun.
We got Cassandra back. Cassandra,
Cassandra.
welcome back.
And if anyone from the chat
They're
wants to
saying
pop
they want
up,
to stay late because Cassandra's on. So,
Cassandra, the games ended a little earlier. Are you down to talk some stats?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Again, in the chat, if anyone wants to pop in to come talk stats, you don't even have to show your face if you don't want. You can come and just look at the StreamYard in the chat. Let's start with the first match. So the first match, let me put that on mute because we don't got to hear that anymore. So the first match, 21-16, it was Leia and Vivian versus Lena and Anna. What stuck out, and we kind of covered this in the first one, is Leah played fantastic, Johnny. Vivian played good. And those two played better than the other two. So when both of the better players are on the same team, I'm not saying anything that's too crazy here as to why they won. Firefights, pretty even in terms of accuracy between Vivian, Lena, and Anna. But Leia, man, 92% on firefights. That was one of the reasons why she had the highest player impact.
Let's
yeah,
go
come
back
on
to
if
that.
you want.
Why don't we check out that player flow again? Just the impact flow chart. And this again is such a good example of kind of where the match is going, right? Obviously, if you're in that negative impact, you're making more errors than winners. That's going to be a challenge for any team. Usually when they're on it, it should be at that above 0. So you see how this match finished. So both David and Leia finishing above 0. Where did Leia finish at in her impact? 4. So I mean, she was aggressive, and again, she went for a lot of those drives early in that match. You can see too, she also took a lot of shots, right? So they were going after her, so she had the ability to get aggressive. And if she's taking those higher shots, taking them off the bounce, we'd have to go back a little bit to the film. I didn't get the notes on that, but she obviously did what she needed to do to keep Lena and Anna on their back heel.
And this isn't rocket science as to why this is important, and it's not rocket science as to what the formula is. But look, you take the player impact score, 6 on one side, north, 1 on the other side, south. 6 minus 1, that's 5. What's the difference in score? 21, 16, 5. So this is legit telling you the tail of the tape, how each score and each point was gotten, who impact, how they got. And look, we're gonna have Ben on, Ben who does these stats next Tuesday. He can give us a little bit into what they're actually looking for when they stat it. But one of the things, and I'll pass this to you two to kind of talk about, is sometimes you don't bring in, Ashley. Ashley should come up. Ashley should come on the show one time. What was I even saying? I lost.
You were handing it to us for something there. I want to just ask Cassandra.
Yeah, say something when I think about it. Yeah,
I'll do that. Cassandra, just when you see these numbers, and maybe they make, they matter for you, maybe they don't. What is it that you feel like you'd be looking for when you look at statistics, especially in the women's matches here? What is it that you feel like is most important to show like success from the women's game?
I'm not sure success. Maybe I'd probably like the unforced error thing is pretty big. Like you would hope at the pro level that the unforced errors are like very small. Amount, and I think I didn't get to watch this match, but it's kind of cool that I didn't watch it, because looking at this with the Jansen David matchup, that kind of makes sense that. I'm guessing Vivian was on the right side and Leia was on the left side. And, Vivian, she's got offense, don't get me wrong, but she's also just like a total backboard.
Total.
And so Leia is more of like high risk, high reward, especially in women's. You can play a little bit different like that. And what I mean by that is you're going to take some chances attacking, and it's either going to work out, it's going to be freaking amazing, or it's going to like bomb in the net, or you're gonna get like roasted with the ball back. And so like high risk, high reward, if she's on and she's taking those chances and those shots and being offensive, I don't know how you stop the two of them.
And what you're saying, this is why I love stats, because like what you're saying is so cool. Everything you just said is legit how this game played out. So you basically watched the game in your head right now by knowing the teams and looking at these stats, because look at what you just said. The team that lost had 5 unforced errors in total, and the team that won had double that. But the reason that they won is because exactly what you said, they were just going for it. And every single shot, they were going for a winner and still hitting so many of those winners. But when you play that play style, you are going to have a lot of errors, and you are going to have a lot of people and plays that are negatives on your overall player impact. The goal is obviously to be more winners than errors, but that's always why you got to look at the inputs for player impact, because I can't say enough how now that I've looked at this for 15, 20 matches, the way you can get to some of these numbers could be Johnny, 2 winners, no errors, Cassandra, 12 winners, 10 errors. You guys played a totally different game, but by just looking at the player impact score, you would think it's the same. So you, Cassandra, if you only had 1, and I told you I can tell you how many winners each player hit, or I can tell you how many unforced errors each player hit in this game, you would rather unforced errors.
Yeah, because winners, honestly, like you're not going to see a ton of just winners at the pro level. It's just like, you're going to, but it's probably like either like it was a forced type of shot where I guess I look at it.
And not to cut you off, but just to echo exactly what you're saying, what's under winners is errors forced, which is the stat of the shot that you're legit talking about. And you could even see that 3 winners and double errors forced. So again, spot on.
Yeah. And so I guess for me, like, the two kind of go hand in hand. It's nice because then you can, like I said, I didn't even watch this match, but being able to look at that, I can tell you how I think that happened. And so that's pretty cool that you guys are able to break this down. Now, I also didn't like this backyard thing, totally new. Like, whose backyard is this? Or like what?
It's Tim Klitsch's.
Okay.
Yeah. It was really cool, and I said this already, but we were on. I know a lot of people that are there. I texted they were texting me and they were like, this event like blew me away. A bunch of them got tickets like last minute just because they just found out about it, and they're like, this was a really cool live sporting event to see. The pros apparently were being like super cool with people. I know even some that may be in this chat got sent I love you videos from certain professionals. So people were just having a good time. And like Wes was saying, a professional tennis player is coming over to play pickleball. And when he was asked what he wants, Wes just told us straight up, what we just watched is what he's looking for. All those people right now are probably going out to have a bite to eat somewhere locally, getting some beers, getting some burgers. That's pickleball, baby. Like that's what it is. The mix of, yeah, these people being able to play on the court, but then what's going on around it, what's going on before, what's going on after. And that's why minor league pickleball this weekend really stuck out to me, because I think you can do that on a pretty local level throughout the country. Like have a Northeast division, have a Southeast division, like even more like a New York, a New Jersey, where there's a bunch of minor league teams going on at all times. And then the winners of those are going down to Austin, like we saw last weekend. But what a way that like a brand like MLP could create something that we're all asking for. And something that sticks out to me is Duper has been advertising that they're looking for those local executive directors. And I think once they start getting more in certain areas, leagues may start to form, and you may see more and more of the ambiance that we got tonight. We don't got to be the only ones to do it. I love to do as many as I can, but obviously we're not going to do them all, and I'll tune into the ones that I don't do, because that was sick to watch under the lights.
So can I ask probably like a harder question then?
Yes.
Answered, or you
Let's
could
go for it.
Whatever. But these players, did they do this for free tonight, or is this something that?
My answer is yeah. I think they did. It wasn't MLP. It was in no way was connected to MLP.
Yeah, it was just a charity event.
But Brooks and Steve are very tapped in with the people that ran it, and they were there, and they were the ones that got them the 8 pros in the area. So it was a collaboration, but no distinct name on it.
Yeah, I think because with the charity, I think that's really cool, because
that's what they were playing for. Yeah,
and those players are at Dreamland, and Steve has done a lot for those specific players, whether giving them housing on site or doing other things for them. So I love that, if that's the case, because that's just like, hey, that's a thank you, like thanks for taking care of us. Now when you need something, like you like it's just getting so crazy with the money that's coming in, the appearance fees and all the crazy stuff, that you sometimes forget, like, dude, like I played like with my grandma on a gym floor, like the first time I picked up a paddle, like, and the pro stuff coming in. That's why I'm just a huge fan of like the MLP, and I thought this minor league pickleball thing was really cool.
So sick. Sick.
What I think of, I don't know why they created it or what their thoughts are, but here's my view on it is, with this vibe pickleball thing that is like out there now, which is basically PPA copying MLP, whatever is going on. They are obviously paying those players a chunk of change, because they could, if like MLP's already got a ton of money in.
Exactly.
And so
you are reading between the lines, Cassandra. Exactly.
I'm just gonna call it out like it is. So if they're committed there, then you're looking at, I think, there's 48 players able to play next year on MLP. Well, let's be honest, 48 of them aren't going to be amazing. Like, you're going to have,
plus alternates. I think they're doing like a set alternate, because if there's more events and like someone can't get to one of them, I was hearing like now the teams may even be like 5, with like each of the players have to get to like a certain amount of the 6. So yeah we could even be talking like 60 players need to get in this.
Have alternates for the last few events too. But I guess my point is, like, dude, I'm not trying to be rude, but like, I mean, would say this to even to myself, like, I technically do not belong on a Major League Pickleball team. There's some people on there that do not belong on a Major League Pickleball team. And now that we're diving deep into 48 players plus alternates, you've already taken away the top, let's say, 20 players in the country. And now we've got to fill those spots. Well, how are you going to do that? We don't even have we don't have that available. And so I think the minor league pickleball thing is cool. And I hope they can really make it cool, or they can kind of make it basic. And what I mean by that is they're taking these players, getting them in there and preparing them for MLB. To do that the best way, I think you hire pro players that maybe aren't playing on there, kind of like Next Gen does with the senior pros.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm going to minor league and I'm like, dude, no, can't do that. You should be doing, like, I'm a coach for the teams, and that is going to be how you would prep them, in my opinion, for MLP to play correctly. Coming from a pro who's been there, knows what's going on. Here's what you need to do to get shit done.
No, I agree with that. I think, and I actually messaged Brooks this weekend because I love Brooks and I love that he'll just message me random shit and I'll just message him random shit. I would not be shocked. I'm not saying it's the favorite, but I would not be shocked if minor league pickleball juice in the next year or two became the whole juice of like what pickleball is, because it could be more spread out because we're not expecting these major league pros, right? It's minor leagues. Like we're expecting people that could even have, other day jobs that are, and that's even more interesting to me to begin with, but that's besides the fact. But then you get all these people that it's just built in, get weekly leagues that, because you're playing for something that there's teams in New York, and then you play for something that lets you play for a region, and then there's regionals. And it can even work where, Johnny, I don't know if you brought it up, but the Florida Smash sent a Florida Smash 20 and Florida Smash 22 team to minor league pickleball. Mm-hmm. So like for major league, and I'm not going to sit here and say I know how much like those players were actually helping the minor league teams. I don't want to say they were. I don't want to say they weren't. I just don't know. But like if that started to happen, where like if you got so involved and you were in different places, like imagine us three and Jigga were, and I'll be the second girl. So us three and Jigga are on an MLP team, and we all live like in different places.
Jigga ain't running though. He's not gonna run on the court. You gotta.
I was gonna be with Cassandra, right? Because she said, she
there
didn't
you
want to
go.
move either. Oh,
okay. So then like we become the coaches of like, say we're the New York Knights, and like we get our minor league teams that like we're all in charge of, and then that one becomes a feeder team that eventually those pros will take over for us if they get better, or we kind of phase out, or who knows where MLP expands. Or two, minor league pickleball is still a thing that exists on its own. These players may never get called up, but like just within bowling, there's people that play on these tours that we don't see them on ESPN, but they're going around the country in these quote unquote pro-ams and stuff like that. If we can follow that path a little bit with minor league pickleball, it encapsulates the pro side of things that people want to see, while also keeping it that Joe Schmo, who's a defense attorney during the week and plays pickleball twice at night, has his chance on a live stream in front of America.
Well, I think the real question I have for you, Zook, is when do we actually get a live session of you getting a pickleball racket and ball tattooed on you?
Jigga.
I'm not that far. I'm not that far, honestly. Like I'm deep.
I mean, you're trying to be the Zook cast of pickleball, right? You want to be the face of pickleball. I don't think you could do that without having the tattoo first, bro. Like I think, Johnny, don't you agree?
Let me say this.
Tuesday night episode.
Let me say this. And this is my way out of it.
My way out of it.
I have a Jewish mother.
All right, that's it. Conversation's over. All right, good talk.
So when you get buried, you're not allowed to be buried with a tattoo in a Jewish cemetery. There's ways around it. Like you could get like your arm scraped out and like stuff like that. Like it's not like that hardcore, but it's more of like a wives' tale and like a running thing that like Jewish moms say to their kids, like, oh, don't ever get a tattoo because then we can't be like buried next to each other. But no, my main answer is I hate needles, and I don't even let doctors draw blood. without
is
running
getting deep
away.
now. This is
So,
starting to
yeah.
It really did. So one, I apologize, chat, that I actually brought that question up. We didn't know we'd get an actual answer.
I didn't know where that was going.
Yo, I'm always wide open. Okay,
How
listen to
about-
this. Listen to this. Let's get deep. Let's get deep because I'm just
Uh-huh.
talking anyway. If I were to ever get a tattoo, I would do this thing I saw on TikTok. I thought it was super fucking cool. You take your dog's paws at the tattoo parlor and they put it in like this ink that's fine for the dogs, and then they put the paw like on your forearm and on your forearm. And for my dog, I would get like a little like imprint of his paws like on my forearm, but that's really it because I really have nothing else that's
Well,
maybe
now
the
that we're,
Steelers.
now that we're all silently judging your dog paws. Yo, can we give a shout out to the fact that they raised over 10K?
Yeah,
for this
that's
charity event?
fantastic.
I mean,
That's
just keep
fantastic.
living.
And the thing that I like about that, again, happy you brought that up, is with the whole theme, they attacked a local charity. What
Yeah,
the hope
and
is
it's
with the next one will
McConaughey's.
attack the yeah.
Yeah.
And still like I love like there's no one more Austin than Matthew McConaughey. You see him at the Texas games, you see everything him and his wife do to give back to that area. I'm sure like just because how big pickleball is there, like he's becoming ingrained in some with some of the bigger
Oh,
players
yeah,
there.
he's going to show up to that
Yeah.
school tomorrow with that check. He's going to be like,
Yeah.
He's just going to hand over that money. Yeah. He'll be like,
Hey, Zook.
we did pickleball.
Zook, Jason Wright, who's been a just absolute champ this entire chat. He's been super gracious to us. He's got to see you play some pickleball sometime, man.
No,
I got to as well. I've
the
been
biggest
waiting.
ruse of this all. That's the biggest trick the devil ever pulled off. No one's even seen me with a paddle. No one's even. Do I even know what I'm doing?
Do you
What's
own a
going on?
paddle? That's the question.
I actually just got a new paddle. I just got the Amped Epic. It just got delivered today, actually. A bunch of people in Discord gave me that as a recommendation. Yo, I've been rolling with 2 like quote unquote starter paddles. So it was time for me to move it up.
Or like a champion paddle, or like wooden, like how starter are we talking?
I'm talking like
New Ipapo. Is that how you
Onyx
even say it?
Z5.
People? Yeah.
Like half like I was using the Onyx Z5 until a few weeks ago, and then I started using like it's a Selkirk. I couldn't even tell you what it was because I just walked into Dick's and said I need a new paddle at this point. Like, do you have anything? And they pointed me, and the only thing that was there was this pink Selkirk, I think an SLK. So I got that. But no, now I got this Amped Epic that a bunch of people. Hey Shay was one of them recommending paddles to me.
Monarch paddle. Oh my.
So,
What are you playing with, Cassandra?
What am I using?
Yeah.
I have an Onyx Evoke Premier. Yeah, I've been using it forever. And I don't know.
Yo, Cassandra, are you around Thursday night?
Yes, I'm in California right now, so
Because Johnny's not going to be here for my Instagram Live Thursday. If you want to pop in.
Maybe not.
But Johnny, you're going on a vacation with your wife. Take the.
No, I know, but it's that night. I know it's Paris. It is actually.
Yeah, you're in Paris with your wife, dude. Okay, Johnny,
like, leave me alone. I love pickleball.
I do, man.
Cassandra, and it kind of ties to right what we're doing. Shelly Wong, who's become a good friend of mine just from talking to on Instagram. She was in the minor league pickleball, so she's bringing up a teammate of hers, and we're just going to kind of talk about the whole experience that it was, how she got into it. Did she have to do anything in terms of signing up and playing beforehand? So I'll shoot you. It's probably going to be around 7:30 Eastern Standard. So if you're still on the West Coast, it's 4:30 your time there.
Okay.
And it'll be on Instagram.
Okay.
So we'll make that work.
So before we end the night, I can, a little teasers for our pickleball world, but
let's do
expect to see a lot more Cassandra and Lee, possibly with a little bit of love on pickle juice on Tuesdays. So more details to come on that, but we about to change the game with some pickleball. Cassandra, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you
as always.
And,
such a pleasure,
Zook,
Cassandra.
Zook will message you a million times.
Cassandra, you know who I've been talking to a bunch recently?
Yeah.
Mr. Clay. Jonathan Clay.
Oh, from Kitch.
Kitch, yeah. He's very okay. Hey Shay, just so you know, I will be calling her after this.
She
And I
was
will be
calling.
asking where she was.
Would be here if she could.
Yeah, she was traveling, right?
It's been like a nutso travel.
I've been seeing her every weekend playing her ass off at all these tournaments. I was even surprised that she was even considering it. But
Cassandra, you were going somewhere. What were you gonna say?
Oh, why? Like your name. I need to know. Like Johnny 5.0. Like tell me more.
It's like the pros' way of saying, "Oh, he's got the thoughts. He's got the takes." I may not be a pro on the court, but I've got the pro takes, and that's where that came from.
Nailed it.
Okay. No, I just had to know. Like I was like, I've been looking at.
In my dreams, I'm a 5.0.
Hey, all that matters. A lot of great things happen up there. So
that's true. I will say, if I was on the court with 5.0s, I feel like I could hold my own. Maybe it's just the confidence. I feel like I could. I know I wouldn't, but I feel like I could.
Challenge accepted. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Well, Cassandra, thank you so much. We will be bothering you Thursday for the Instagram Live. You know Zook's going to text you right after this. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys. What a great event. First of many.
Yeah, I got to get better with remembering stuff. That was one of the coolest things that I've ever gotten the honor to stream. That was that's just cool. We were hanging out with friends in the chat, talking pickleball. Next time, and these guys, I got to get them willing to show their face or at least audio, because it's always down for audio. You're towards the end, probably going forward when the matches are still going live. Maybe the last one, we'll put that StreamYard in there earlier. So for that last match, if you have anything you want to say and you want to pop up, we'll have you on, because it's fun to hear other people's opinions. Like even when we had the different guests on and we turned to the matches a little bit, everyone was talking about them differently. Everyone had different perspectives. And look, I've watched pickleball professional pickleball for way less than 12 months at this point. A lot of these people have been doing it for a lot longer. So I'm learning. Like I'm legit learning while I'm watching and listening. So it's fun.
Well, look, we were able to pull off the first Zook and Friends cast. You know, this is just the first of many with what PickleDAO has in store with Knights of Degen and KOD Media. This was huge. I mean, and Johnny, man, I know I've said it before, but man, the commitment level, Johnny, all the way in Norway, sitting here.
What time is it there?
Like 3:30 in the morning.
It's almost 3, but I feel like I haven't skipped a beat. I was thinking,
that light is nice. That light you got is nice.
That Irish complexion coming up on the YouTube stream, man. There you go. No, it was an honor, and just kind of be at the forefront of some of what's happening. Especially on the stats side, the stuff that's going to take the pro game into the next level. Like I'm here for that, man. I'm willing to put in the sweat equity, if you know what I mean, for that. Yeah. So
no, definitely. Man. And every time we show these and these are not our stats. These are Ben from Real Clear. We're just lucky to be friends with him, and he's nice enough to give them to us. But every time we show them to the pros, they're like, oh, this is cool. This is like at the minimum, it's like, oh, this is cool. So that's fantastic. So yeah, the schedule lining up for the Pickle Juice show will be Thursday. We have an Instagram live with 2 people that did very well in minor league pickleball. Let's get into that, because that seems like it could be huge. Next Tuesday, Johnny will be back. We'll probably have Ben on to do a deeper dive into the stats we saw here, plus go back into the MLP, because we went quickly through that, and do a deep dive into more MLP stats, plus look at this tournament's weekends. And then next Thursday, I'm 90% pretty sure I'm going to have a really fun guest on, but I don't want to say it before we get him or her, but that should be shortly. But look out for those on Thursday and Tuesday, and then something again the following Thursday. But we appreciate you all tuning in.
Yeah, we got to get more people following on the social.
The
conversation doesn't stop here. You got to find us on social.
Follow Johnny 5.0 on Twitter. Follow Jigaman Porto on Twitter. Follow Pony Zook on Twitter. Follow at Pickle Juice KOD on Instagram. That's where we put all the clips of all these things. Follow Knights of Degen. Follow Knights of Degen Media. That's the page that this is on. Subscribe, like. I think it's all free, and it makes us feel a lot better about ourselves on the drive home. I promise you that. Jigga, Johnny, as always, it was a pleasure. I think.
And thanks to PickleDAO for letting us hang. This was incredible.
So good.
These guys are doing some game-changing stuff in pickleball, and man, they've got some influence, as you can see. So it's exciting.
This was great. This was great.
Great
We'll
job
probably
by
do it
everybody.
again.
On that note, we're
soon
out of
enough.
here. Hey, chat, we appreciate you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll see you soon. We're out.